Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine. I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment in court.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
The government, states, they start putting these RICO acts on Diddy, all of these guys, and try to put it on these ongoing criminal organizations. I ain't never seen the government put a RICO act on the KKK.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You gotta acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened. We down. Hold on.
If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
I think when it comes to the woman, if a man takes charge and he shows that he's logical,
same people. That's number two. That's all theater. This is WWF.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Andre Williams.
I'm Heaven.
And today we have lunch with the new party. Andre Williams is back in the building. Heaven is back in the building representing the man cave. So it's going to be a good show. Andre, let everybody know where they can find you at.
Well, currently you can't find me on TikTok. I'll just say that. We'll have to build the page back up and then I'll start releasing the ad. But on YouTube, you can find me at Andre Williams_US. You can find me on Twitter as the same handle. You can find me on Instagram at Andre Williams US. So those are the platforms I'm on. Hope to see you there.
Yeah, everyone go on X, give Andre a follow because, you know, X is a little bit more free than the YouTube, than the TikTok. But censorship is in full effect. We definitely see how the press is swaying things, unfortunately. And we saw that this week with JD Vance on Meet the Press. We will be doing a reaction show today to that interview. So pretty much he went on Meet the Press with Kristen Welker, and it went as expected. It was apparent to me that she was very biased, but you guys will let me know what you think. Here's the first clip.
Raged.
when you learned that Russia targeted an American company based in Ukraine?
I don't
Was
like
that not
it,
a slap
Kristen.
in the face
I
to the
don't.
peace
I don't like
process?
it, Kristen. But this is a war, and this is why we want to stop the killing. The Russians have done a lot of things that we don't like. A lot of civilians have died. We've condemned that stuff from the get-go. And frankly, President Trump has done more to apply pressure and to apply economic leverage to the Russians, certainly than Joe Biden did for 3.5 years when he did nothing but talk, but do nothing to bring the killing to a stop. So you asked me what I'm enraged by. What I'm enraged by is the continuation of the war. What I'm enraged by is a presidency and Joe Biden who for 3 years did nothing to end the killing. What I'm actually excited about right now is that we have a president who's engaging in energetic diplomacy to try to stop the killing. That's as it should be. I think the American people should be proud of it. And whatever the outcome of this, whether the war ends in 3 months or 6 months or hopefully not beyond, but maybe, we should be proud that we have a president who's trying to stop the killing. He's done it, by the way, 6 wars that the president has brought to a close all over the world. This would be the 7th. It's the most complicated, but we're trying despite that.
Gray, as the Democrat on the line, do you think that Joe Biden is the president that's responsible for this ongoing conflict in the Ukraine?
What I'll say is it happened under Joe Biden's administration. I won't necessarily say that he's responsible, but to respond to what JD Vance says, where he has some truth, is that Trump did put sanctions on India and China as far as like with oil. So he is doing something economically to try to crush the Russian ruble. So they are doing something, and Joe Biden didn't do that, but I don't think he explained that well.
Okay. Andre, what do you think? Who do you blame for the ongoing conflicts right now in the Ukraine?
Well, I blame every president going back to the 90s. I blame every president going back since the creation of Ukraine. We wouldn't be in this mess had we had not been trying to expand eastward with putting missiles in, we did it with Turkey. We put missiles in Turkey, troops in Turkey, getting them into NATO. We did this with trying to expand other people from these former Eastern Bloc countries into NATO. So this is kind of, Russia's line in the sand. We're going to let you expand. We're going to let you do whatever. We're going to let you do as much as you want. But Ukraine is the final thing, because as we know historically, the back door into Russia is Ukraine. We've seen this with Napoleon, his conquest into Russia. We've seen this with, the painter man during Operation Barbarossa. So we look at historically, this has always been a line in the sand for the Russians. It's like, well, what the hell? So we go back to, look at, Minsk 1 and 2, look at the Maidan coup and what happened. I mean, every administration has failed in trying to solve this crisis. And I think, President Putin had no choice but to go into Ukraine, and rightfully so. They've had their hiccups, but we know at the end of the day, they're going to win. The Ukrainians have really no leverage. They lost in Kursk. They lost 70,000 troops in Kursk, completely encircled there. We're looking at in Sumy, they're building a buffer zone that's taken slowly. We're looking at what's happening right now in Kupiansk. They're pushing very fast. They've taken a lot of territory over the last few weeks. So it's not looking good for the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians think that they're going to negotiate something out of this. No. The best thing is that they take all of the Donbass and leave it there, or they can be cut off at the Dnieper, and we split Ukraine into 2, which would completely destroy Ukraine either way, or we can landlock Ukraine, and Ukraine is completely screwed, and now depending on Western support. So when we're looking at all these people talking about let's put troops and all that, no, the United States should have really no involvement in that. The Europeans want to go do that. Let the Europeans do whatever they want to do. They always end up screwing themselves over in the end, and we got to come save them. We're not doing that again. We're done with that. So we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, almost every president has failed in trying to solve this issue. We'll see what Trump does. I don't think it's going to be anything that would be, in my opinion, good at the end of the day.
Heaven, what's your thoughts as somebody that was in the military for almost 20 years? Thank you for your service. What do you suspect is going to be the next moves potentially at this point under President Trump?
It's when it comes to suspecting his next moves, you never know. But I do understand that every time Trump has spoken to Putin, even when he just saw him, right? Putin, regardless of the conversation and how well it goes back and bombs something. And an escalation closer to the United States. And this was a U.S. facility. There were people in the U.S. there. We have a lot of our troops already on the line in that area. Ukraine was the buffer zone. Ukraine was set up kind of like the buffer zone. You had Russia, and then you had this Ukraine area, and then you had like the, neutral areas, and then you had the NATO. So when Russia started the war and invaded Ukraine, that's what provoked Ukraine to then try to join NATO for protection, because that was the whole deal, was Ukraine could not join NATO. Hey, no, Ukraine cannot be in NATO, and Russia would be fine with that, but Russia wouldn't attack and try to expand. But when Russia entered Ukraine, they broke that treaty, or that agreement. I see you shaking your head. I did 15 years active duty Army, and that's almost over half of your lifespan. So please.
I understand, Heaven. We don't need to use that as like a...
No.
Oh,
What
okay.
you're giggling
I
is
think that you're wrong.
disrespectful to my 15 years of service.
It's not disrespectful to your 15 years. That's disrespectful to your
really
opinion, if that's anything, Heaven. We're not talking about service here. You're bringing up service for what reason? We both serve. Heaven, we both serve.
I did 15.
That's
you
nice.
are only
we both
24.
Serve.
Get it together.
That's great. I can have a different opinion. I can have a different perspective on the world.
Correct. But no one on this panel has sat here and laughed at your opinions.
I'm shaking my head.
We're taking them in. We're listening respectfully. And you can disagree, but you cannot disagree disrespectfully.
How is it disrespectful?
So the immaturity, the laughing and giggling, we're having a grown-up conversation here.
It is a grown-up conversation. She asked you're doing a appeal to authority.
What I was asked was my personal opinion based off my military service, which again has been over half of your life existence.
That's nice.
So yes, do you have service? I'm sure you have a few years. But
yeah, I did my time and you did your time.
It doesn't
matter. Your service, let me tell you this,
why
are we comparing service here? I can have a difference in opinion on you. I think that your world perspective is weak. I think that your understanding of the war is not concurrent with the world. That's nice.
That's why.
Authority. That's cool. But guess what? Your opinion is not something that anyone like Jeffrey Sachs or even General McGregor would agree with, or anything that the State Department agreement.
It's
not lining up. It's not lining up with the history.
No one asked you if you agree. Okay. No one asked you, Andre.
You're flexing your medals. That's cool.
What
was
asked to me,
the
question that was directed to me specifically was answered by me specifically, because you're sitting there laughing.
I cannot like your opinion. I don't know why you're getting heated.
You don't have. I don't like your opinion, but I'm not sitting here laughing.
But you're attacking me like, oh, you're laughing.
Okay, time out.
What is it?
We're supposed to be having a grown-up conversation, and if you want to be
it is a grown-up conversation. You're the one acting like the child right now because you're crashing out because someone didn't like what you said. That's what
children do. And I'm calling you out for being.
I can laugh at what you're saying because I find not to be true or not to be concurrent with how reality is. I can laugh at that.
All right, guys, we got about.
That's like in kindergarten when little boys laugh at
25 years of
saying
penis
and vagina.
Guys, hold on, guys, hold on.
Go ahead to the next topic, Nora.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the next topic because I want to respect all of y'all. Y'all have all served each Army and Air Force, so let's go on to the next. We're gonna talk about John Bolton now, guys. Whew. All right. So John Bolton, as you guys may or may not know, is under a formal FBI investigation. They're looking for documents that they say he may potentially have in his home. Some people are calling this a retribution. Kristen Welker asked JD Vance about this. And the question is this a retribution? And we'll answer it. Here we go.
You shouldn't throw people willy-nilly in prison. You should let the law drive these determinations, and that's what we're doing.
But a lot of people have already looked at this and said, this looks a lot like retribution. Is this retribution?
Well, who has said it looks a lot like retribution, Kristen? A lot of people who tried to throw Donald Trump in prison for completely fake charges that were later thrown out by multiple different courts. I suspect that if the media and the American people let this case actually unfold, if they let the investigation unfold as it's currently doing, they're going to find out that what we're doing is being very deliberate and being very driven by the national interest and by the law here. And that's as it should be. You shouldn't throw people willy-nilly in prison. You should.
So this is funny. It kind of feels like a repeat of Trump. Like he's saying you shouldn't do that, but people feel like that's what they're now doing to John Bolton. Gray, do you agree or disagree? Do you think that this is retribution, or do you think the investigation is justifiable?
Trump is known for getting back at people he doesn't like or people that's crossed him. John Bolton was a Republican. He worked in Trump's administration. Then he all of a sudden gets raided. I think Trump is going to go after his personal enemies now and to the end of his administration.
Heaven, do you think that this is a retribution, or do you agree with this investigation?
I agree with Gray on this one. I think it's retribution, and I think he'll continue to do it.
How about you, Andre? What do you think? Do you think it's retribution, or do you think it's justifiable?
Most definitely justifiable. I mean, I've never liked John Bolton either way. We look at his track record being in the Bush administration. This is somebody who brought us the destruction of Iraq. This is someone who's brought us the failed foreign policy in the Middle East. So I really don't care if he's going after by a Democrat or Republican. I mean, screw John Bolton at the end of the day. It is what it is. But we'll see what comes of it. You know, I know it is hypocritical of Trump to, you know, cry about being attacked when he was not, of course, the president during the campaign season. And then, of course, now he's doing the John Bolton. But, you know, it pretty much is. We see this all. This happens a lot within government. People go after political opponents all the time. It's something that's new to see a president do it so aggressively and so out in the open. But I mean, this has already been set, so we'll see what happens after it.
Well, I got more information about the raid. This is a clip that I was able to locate from Fox News. They're saying it's due to financial things that he may have done. Let me play the clip.
This might have nothing to do with classified documents or about classified intelligence that Bolton printed in his book. Trump Justice Insider Mike Davis says Democrats, rhinos, and reporters who think this raid on John Bolton is about his book will be very embarrassed when the search warrant becomes public. Primetime's hearing Bolton was making a lot of money from overseas and may have been trafficking in intelligence. That wouldn't be putting America first. Constitutional scholar Jonathan Turley, who we just heard from, says Bolton could be looking at up to 20 years in prison. So Bolton should take his own advice and take a big, beautiful, deep breath.
I think it's important that everybody take a deep breath here. This is a very serious matter, and it would be better if
this might have nothing to do with class.
So pretty much they're saying that he was sending classified documents to family members, but now we're hearing it's a financial thing. Gray, based on this new information, him potentially taking kickbacks and getting money, sounds like laundered to him. Do you now agree with the investigation? Has that changed your opinion?
Yeah, if it's corruption, of course, he should be put under the jail if it's real. I mean, the problem is how much information can we trust from the DOJ? I'm not a John Bolton fan. I mean, I really don't care what happens with him, but how much information can we really trust? In Joe Biden's administration, I can trust it, but now I'm a little bit more skeptical.
So let me ask you a question. Did you trust Joe Biden's administration when they said that he was competent to run the country? Because clearly that was a lie.
I was on this show. We watched the debate. D. White, he actually started a podcast with us. We were on there. I didn't say, oh, this looks great. I said, this looks horrific. But that's totally different than the Department of Justice, than Joe Biden lying about his age. An old person never knows when to quit. So I think that's different, but I trusted, what's the guy name? I can't think of his attorney general name, but I trusted that guy. I don't trust Pam Bondi like that.
The one from New Orleans, or the fat one. God,
No,
I forget.
I'll look it up. Go to somebody else. I'll look it up.
Okay, wait, look it up.
Nice. The heavy set one?
The fat one. Yes, he's fat.
Yeah,
Huh?
I can't think of her name, but yet she was horrible. Oh my goodness, she was just as ugly as Janet Reno to me, honestly.
Who? No,
It was
I'm talking about. Merrick
Garland. Oh yeah, he was even terrible as well. I thought you were talking about someone else for a
I'm
second.
talking about the one that arrested that when Epstein hanged himself. I'm talking about him.
Oh, who was that? Yeah, who was that?
I forget his name. Y'all need to find it for me. I'm sorry.
I'll try to find it.
I mean, hold on.
Yeah.
Was it Jeff Sessions?
No, that was the one that I think he said he trusted from the first administration. He doesn't.
Oh no, I hated Jeff Sessions. He was terrible.
I don't know
Oh,
how you
goodness.
trusted that administration at all.
Well, I mean, how can you trust any administration? But you know,
I mean, at this point, I don't trust none of them. I mean, they literally lied for 4 years about Joe Biden's health, and they had his son, who's a known crack addict, attending meetings on his behalf. But anyways, I digress.
They lied about weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, they lied about that. You think they're gonna
That put me in the desert.
Who, Biden?
All of them, everyone. Bush,
all of them.
Clinton administration.
It started a 20-year war.
Oh, see, that's something y'all agree on. Okay,
30 years if you count the special operations and what they've done to CIA and so on. So I mean,
and then also the dismantling of a lot of the, because we had so many cops and fobs over there that had to be dismantled, and they were like whole towns dang near.
Oh, you're talking about Bill Barr. Bill Barr.
Yeah,
Bill Barr. Yeah, that's why I said
yeah.
he was as ugly as Janet Reno to me.
Yeah.
I looked at him like he was disgusting. So good thing he's
a liar, though. He lied. Like I don't know. Never.
They all lie.
Yeah, they're politicians. American politicians. That's the best thing we do. That's how we get reelected. We have people that lie constantly.
Oh, you lie?
Do I lie? I'm not a politician.
Hey, you said we.
I said American politicians. That's
you
what
said
we
lie.
We royally.
Okay? Don't lie.
I don't know what office I've got other than
said politicians lie.
I did. I started with American politicians. We lie.
You just said we. I just asked.
We is in our
question.
politicians is it?
I was asking. I said, do you lie because you included yourself? I was just asking.
Yeah, but am I a politician?
Hey man, come on now.
If I start off with American politicians and I say,
I was just asking a question because you said we. I was just asking.
It's kind of like a
just
shitty point to really make.
Okay.
I wanted to clarify. I wanted to make sure.
Do I lie? Yeah.
Talk to someone who's honest.
I lie sometimes.
Okay. Well, thank you for being honest that time. I appreciate
I'm lying
your
right
honesty.
I don't know if it's being
well.
honest.
That's
Nora.
Yeah.
So you just lied. So you are a liar then.
I'm lying again. Yeah.
Terrible.
All right.
Don't do that.
So the next
Get it together, Andre.
Not Andrew. Andrew.
I'm sorry.
The next clip I have.
Well, look. I'm reading. It has the W after the Andre Williams, so it's like Andrew. I'm sorry.
All right, here we go. Is Bolton's last interview 12 days ago.
Before you go, we're about to talk about Trump's retribution campaign we're seeing at the FBI and the Justice Department. You're obviously on his enemies list, at least Kash Patel's enemies list. Are you worried that they're going to come after you in some way? I mean, he's hinted at it before.
Well, I think he's already come after me and several others in withdrawing the protection that we had for from the Iranians for the attack on Qasem Soleimani. So I think, and I said in the new forward to the paperback edition of my book, I think it is a retribution presidency.
Before you go, we're about to talk about Trump's retribution campaign we're seeing at the FBI. And
So that was just 12 days ago, coincidentally. Do you think that him saying that in an interview, Gray, is why they raided his home, or was it just a coincidence?
I feel like him and Trump have had beef this whole time. I mean, I don't know what Kash Patel's plan is as far as the FBI. He said they were going to turn the J. Edgar Hoover building into a museum, but he seems to trying to be doing some type of law enforcement work. So I don't know particularly like if it's going to be a trend of going after political opponents or if they're actually going to do actual law enforcement work.
Andre, do you agree with that, or do you think it's just a poor coincidence?
I agree with Gray. You know, I don't know what Kash Patel's doing. I mean, I guess this is what happens when you get these types of people within the department. I really don't know what to expect from him. I don't really think it's connected at all. It is what it is. Like I said, I never liked John Bolton. I like this is happening to him. I don't really care about John Bolton. I want to see some few other people get taken down a notch as well. We'll see what happens, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Heaven, what's your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think it's retribution now that we know more? Because you didn't answer the last round.
It is retribution. I think it is, but also because he knows there's corruption, he knows he can go after them because he knows their corruption.
So he knows where the bodies are buried, basically. So
Exactly. He's been doing this. He's been in this game for a long time, even before he was in politics. So he knows who's dirty. And I would like to see the Epstein list and all of those people, right or left, it doesn't matter, out. I would like to see anybody who's paid millions of dollars by AIPAC out. Because all of these things to me are treasonous.
I can agree with you there.
Our money should not be going to Israel. Our money should be going to our healthcare here. So that way we can have mental health services and free education for our kids and the things that we deserve. And I want to see everybody on the Epstein list and the actual whole list go down. I don't care who it is globally, all of them. Because it's not just Democrats and Republicans that are on the list. It's a lot more than just Americans on that list. There's a lot more people that need protecting or that are protecting that.
True. No, I agree. Andre, what do you think about the list? You never talked about it on our show. You think there's a list? You think that the Trump administration is lying?
Yeah, I think the list is in Tel Aviv, and Mossad has it. They've had it for years.
We agree on other.
I want to see it. Yeah, we agree, Heaven. Yeah, we do. Yeah, I want to see the list too. I really don't care, Democrat, Republican. I'm not this establishment.
I'm
It's
shocked.
like, well, if they're Republicans, I don't want to see it. I don't care about that. Get these people out either way. We look at corruption since the 60s. I really counted 40 years, but we go back since JFK. That's really the last government I can really say historically a lot of people trusted and had faith in. But compare that to today, I mean, yeah, all these people are probably on some kind of list, Shaniqua's list of, prostitutes, whatever, they got a list of something that they're on, someone's notebook. And I want to see it all. And we can judge them based on how we feel. But, I think it's kind of, as we know, historically, politicians, governments, people within them have always been corrupt, and they've always been doing corrupt things. And to demand that they expose themselves is kind of like not a snowball's chance in hell is going to ever happen. The only time we're actually going to see that list is if we run to the White House or, like I said, run into Tel Aviv. I don't know if I could say that without being called an anti-Semite, but if we run into Tel Aviv, maybe
at this point, legally, if any state boycotts the state of Israel, they are denied FEMA funding. So if I can talk about my country negatively and I can talk about my president negatively, why can I not talk about another country's negatively?
Exactly.
Because I, as an ordained minister, also study religions and study the Torah and all of the things that they are doing are against their own religion. And there are many, many Jewish people who stand up against it. And even in Tel Aviv. So that's a whole nother story.
That's a long one. I don't know if YouTube look that up.
I don't think that would ever I don't think we're allowed to speak on that.
Yeah, well, it's great
that we know it.
10 years ago, you weren't allowed to have these conversations. Now you can talk about it. You were censored and silent if you talked about anything criticizing Israel or AIPAC. That was deemed as you're a neo-Nazi if you talked about AIPAC. Now
I've had 4 TikTok pages taken down.
Oh wow!
And it's really like posting. I don't post like you do a lot of like talking stuff on TikTok. I don't do that.
Yeah, I talk too much on TikTok. That's why they take me down. The moment I start talking about Israel. I
Well,
think that
that's
was going
just something
faster.
you do a lot of, just in
I do.
general. As
Okay.
a, like, not a judgment, because I don't judge. I just make assessments like based off of actions and logic. I'm not a judgy person.
So since you guys brought this up, this is a breaking news thing because we have 3 more stories to cover. And last night, unfortunately, there were 4 more journalists that were unalived in Gaza. And it appears that whether intentional or unintentional, the journalists are a target. And this is something that I think, we should touch on. I'm going to play the clip. I believe this was on Al Jazeera TV. 2 of them were AP News. One of them was Al Jazeera. One was an unaffiliated Arabic station. And I'm going to play the clip now.
لا حصل الآن خليك يا الله راح الدفاع المدني قتلوا الناس راح الدفاع المدني قتلوا الناس.
So their defense for it is that a lot of these journalists are like affiliated with Hamas and that they're gang leaders and that they're all these things. And I really think that this is something that we should touch on because at this point, double the number of journalists that were unalived in the World War II have now been unalived in Gaza. I think it's over 100 more that were unalived in Ukraine have now been unalived in Gaza. And pretty much the topic I want to discuss is why is world media not getting behind them and supporting them at this point, like the way they did in 2015. I believe it was, I forget what country, but it was somewhere in the Middle East when they were unalived and they all got behind. They did fundraisers. They used their voices and speak out. Andre, I'll let you go first. Why do you think that this has not been a united effort by all media around the world?
Well, I mean, it's honest. What I'm about to say is the moment you start criticizing the actions of Israel and those within power, you get deemed an anti-Semite. It's been like that for the last 20 years, especially within media. But today, now you can talk about it, but you're still called an anti-Semite if you criticize it too much. So the reason why you're not seeing it is because, they'll sit back and talk about what's going on in Gaza, right? It's horrible. We all know it's horrible. But they won't actually be hard on condemning Bibi Netanyahu, who is loved by every politician in the United States almost, loved by almost everyone. Everyone respects Bibi. You can get the president pulling out the chair for Bibi when he comes into the White House. They don't want to call out because there's so much money and so much connection with that. So many favors, so many hands that have been shook over the years with Israeli politicians, with Israeli diplomats, with other Israeli journalists that are covering this and what's going on from their perspective. So we just have to wait and see what happens. I mean, we know that everyone around the world is condemning Israel and what they're doing. No one is supportive of Israel. The support for Israel in this country is like a joke now. If you support Israel, it's kind of like, you're getting bought and paid for by someone and not to be taken seriously. But I think there needs to be more and more pressure from people on the ground and people who put out content, regardless if you're right or left, to sever our ties from the Zionist state, the Jewish state of Israel, right?
Gray, why do you think that this is not getting media coverage or support from the media?
It was a clip I was trying to find. It's a black reporter. He popular. I can't think of his name, but he was on Joe Budden, and he was talking about all the reporters he knows that were deleted over there in Gaza. And basically, even on the Joe Budden podcast, he basically was just like, oh, well, can we talk about hip hop? Let's talk about the Young Thug case. So people are disconnected because it's not happening here. It's not happening to people they know. It's overseas. They're completely disconnected on what's going on. That's what I think.
And I think they're scared. That's what I think. I think they're scared to be canceled out, and they know that who controls what. Heaven, what's your thoughts? Why do you think that their support is not there?
I think it was there in 2015 and it's not there now because everyone knows that Israel is not going to stop and they're going to go to the final solution. I'm sorry. Hold on.
I agree with that.
Oh my God, Heaven, don't cry.
Yeah, don't cry.
I actually have family living over there, so seeing you cry is making me a little upset. Don't cry, please.
I would say to her point, the reason for why they covered with Syria is because
I've been
that was
watching
part
this
of
for
Israel.
2 years. I've been watching humans be blown up, women and children. I've formed bonds with a lot of the people over there, and the journalists are being unalived, taken out, deleted, targeted, more so because they're showing what's going on the ground, because those journalists were not the first that were targeted. It's whoever is okay. The journalists were showing all the pictures of the starving children, so the world started to push a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
And then those journalists specifically were attacked in their tent. If you're dropping a bomb on a tent, like, can we grasp this? And me, as a soldier, knowing all of those laws, because part of my job was HR, I had to know all the rules and regulations. Watching white phosphorus fall from the sky, which is a war crime.
Mm-hmm.
2 years almost of this. The world isn't stopping it. They're not stepping in because they know that America is backing Israel and will continue to, regardless of our laws that are broken, like the Leahy law. We've dumped ridiculous amounts of money into a port that fell apart in a day. It wasn't even able to be used. We've all the aid that Israel wouldn't let in. If a country is not letting the aid that our tax dollars are paying for into the country, then we are not supposed to be giving them the bombs to bomb the other country. We're not supposed to. That's part of the rules, to put it in layman's terms. But the world isn't going to stop because nobody really knows the true numbers right now. But I can tell you that it is most likely at this point over 500,000.
Unalived?
Yes.
Hmm.
There is no way to record who has been unalived because every single hospital, which is also supposed to be protected, there are certain things that are protected in war. Hospitals, schools, civilians, and civilian infrastructure. You're only supposed to attack military targets, which hasn't been happening for 2 years.
I just looked up the numbers. It says 61,805 Palestinians and 1,983 Israelis. So 63,000 in all.
That number is not accurate too, Greg, because the bodies are under the rubble. That's part of it too. There are literal bodies.
There's no way to record. And also, if you want to look up the Senate bill that passed, that we're not allowed to know the numbers.
For sure.
Right. So the Senate agreed and passed a bill that says Americans are not allowed to know the true number of unalivements over like that. What?
Nor did
and that
you
was under Biden.
Huh?
So
do mine next.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, it's good.
It's personal for me, and I didn't know that. So thank you.
For sure. Andre, this one for you. This is about the Young Dolph case. This guy beat the case because he was said that he paid for the guy to get deleted, but this is his first interview after beating the case.
Well, 2021, a few months prior to the actual shooting, you were actually working with Straight Drop to try to sign him to CMG.
I was.
and some interactions happened at your house. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I was basically trying to put the deal together for Straight Drop. Years prior to that, it's a well-known DJ from Memphis, DJ Lil Larry. He's a friend / associate of mine, reached out to me and wanted me and my brothers to possibly give him the advance money for Moneybagg Yo. We met up at my brother's car lot. We listened to the material. And for whatever reason, my brother decided against it. Look where Moneybagg Yo is at right now.
Yeah.
So we was real bitter about that, you know, so, and shout out to Bag. But, so, you know, when Justin came around, you know, Justin was talented, and we didn't want to miss out on this opportunity. You know, my whole goal was to try to get out the streets and stop, you know, hustling, especially at the age I'm at. And so I reached out to my brother and asked for his assistance, you know, and we started trying to put the deal together. And I reached out to Juke and asked him to come by and check the material out. And that's how it started.
Okay, so Juke is at your house. Is Straight Drop at your house also?
Correct.
Okay, and you guys are talking about potentially a deal with CMG.
Yes. We were basically at my house. Juke was telling us how to promote the music, how to get Justin the type of buzz that was needed to actually sign to the label. Just all music business, you know, just giving us the, you know, the inside and out about how to, you know, move this thing forward as fast as we could.
Okay. But then at one point, Cornelia Smith showed up at the house as well.
Correct. Yeah, Cornelia Smith. I met Cornelia Smith through an associate of mine named Bobby Carter. When I was released from prison, I bought a house on my grandmother's street in Orange Mound where I grew up. And I met Cornelius through Bobby. And so on this particular night when we were having the music meeting, it was a knock at the door. And I went to the door and it was Cornelius. And I was under the impression that he just wanted some X bills or whatever like he normally did. So I told him to come back later. I was trying to get a deal signed for Drop. And he was like, no, it's important. So I stepped outside, and that's when he mentioned to me, he was like, man, they ain't trying to do nothing about Dolph trying to kill Gotti. So at that point, I never heard of that incident. You know, I heard of it, if you reverse it, I done heard of it that way, you know, the attempted hits on Dolph, but at that point, I hadn't heard anything about someone trying to do anything to Gotti.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him that wasn't my business.
So if people don't know, Young Dolph was a rapper. He had beef with Yo Gotti. Dolph ended up getting killed. Yo Gotti brother ended up getting killed in this whole situation. And that guy was accused of paying for it to Cornelia Smith and a guy named Straight Drop. So Andre, after hearing this guy's story, because I know you talk a lot about the Black community, he was getting older. He felt like he go flip his money, his drug money into the music game so he can change his life once he got out of prison. I mean, like hearing the actual background with someone, how does that make you feel? Like, you know, are people trying to change their life, especially with people with backgrounds where they've been to prison or they've been selling drugs?
Well, yeah, I'm all for, you know, rehabilitation if those who want to be rehabilitated. But when it comes to drug dealers, I really don't have any remorse. I mean, if you're selling poison to your own people, destroying countless amount of lives within your own community, I really don't have any remorse. Now, if you're somebody who's been, you know, hustling and doing things at a very low level, and it's not really harming or affecting people in such a destructive manner, then I'm all for rehabilitation. I think the biggest problem we have within, you know, criminal justice in this country is the same way we look at the schools. It's just we have you come into prison, you do your time, and then you get out. And there's really no help. And once you get out and you fall back into the same thing, it's just like school. You know, you get your diploma and then you go do whatever you want. You know, it's really no forward thinking. No, let's go and do something more. It's kind of like, well, you'll figure it out on your own, right, buddy? Don't worry. We'll pat you in the hip. Maybe we'll see you again. That's how the prison system is in this country. It's how the schools are in this country. So, you know, hearing his backstory, I mean, I've lived around that. Living in Detroit, I've seen a lot of people who've tried to get out of that life. And that's all well and good. More power to those who do it. But the culture of it is something that I still want to destroy. Good for him if he's got out of the life and changed his life around and done things. Fantastic. But those who don't, they need to be in a lot of fear. And we as Black people need to put fear into those people, knowing that we're going to get you out of the community. Those who can get out now, get out. But I think in the next 10 years or so, we're going to see a lot of cracking down from other Black people on these people who've destroyed countless amount of families, who have, you know, brought in this poison and glorified it through the music and have pushed it in our community, saying it's okay to do this, telling our youth it's all right to do this. It's okay to act like this. It's all right to do these things because it makes money. I don't care if it makes money. If it's actively going to destroy our foundation, our homes, our women, our children, the mental health of our men, why would we want to promote it even more? So it's got to end at one point. We just can't just be like, well, you know, it makes money and people have been doing it forever. There's a lot of things that people used to do forever. The practices that were going on all around the world that people were doing forever, and we stopped because we found it to be immoral or not economically viable anymore. Just not within our moral framework that we want to continue to support. So Black people in this country have a lot that we have to reject and remove from our moral framework, remove from our communities and our culture if we want to progress and be better as a productive member within this country. So yeah, that's all I got to really say. And honestly, I don't even know who these people are. Young Dolph, like I don't like.
Oh, you don't know? You don't know either, Heaven? You know who Young Dolph is?
I don't know.
I do.
Oh.
I do. Yeah.
Shout out to Heaven.
I
What's
grew
your
up
thought
around
about
hip
it?
hop artists, and I grew up in the hood. So
Yeah, but what's your thought about Young Dolph and the Yo Gotti beef?
a lot of the beefs that I've seen seem staged and like, you know what I mean? But that right there is a whole different story. They want to be acting stupid. They want to beef. Like, I don't know. It's not productive. It doesn't do anything for anyone's careers or life. And the way I look at anything is if it's not making me or the people around me or the community that I'm around better, then there's no need for me to do it.
Nora, did you have anything else?
Yeah, I have one more.
Because I wanted to explain the beef to you guys, but if you want to play something, you can go ahead.
No, you can explain the beef, but I have something I would like to add to the conversation. I think that voices like Andre are needed because I feel like voices like his is putting a light on degenerate behavior. However, my only issue is that then people think that this is the majority of the Black community, but it's not. But unfortunately, this is what has been broadcasted and portrayed to America. So they think it's the majority of the Black community. So that's why I have to say I like Andre's voice on these things, because unfortunately it is a hard pill and hard medicine to swallow, but it has slowed down, I think, on glorifying some of the degeneracy in this country. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, so
I like Andre too and his topics.
I'm about to put y'all up on game.
Thank
you. I appreciate you.
I know y'all don't know what's going on.
I know you really want to tell us all about this beef. I know you're so excited.
Two Memphis rap legends. They had connections to each other in the streets. And back in the day, Gotti even wanted to sign Dolph to his label. But instead of linking up in the studio and putting on for the city together, they sparked a wild beef that led to diss tracks, death threats, and shootouts. And today, we're breaking down the entire story. Let's get right into it. Memphis is home to rap legends like 3 6 Mafia, 8 Ball and MJG, and more. But it's also one of the wildest cities in America. Some sources say that the violent crime in Memphis is 5 times higher than the national average. Almost every rapper from the city had to make it out of the streets, and that's allegedly where Dolph and Gotti first met. Rumors say that Dolph was actually Gotti's brother's plug back in the day. Dolph's parents were both addicted to crack when he was growing up, so he got active in the streets and made his own lane. Back then, he'd freestyle around his homies, but he never took music seriously until he almost died in a car crash. After Dolph decided to switch up how he moved, he went all in with his rap career. He started handing out free CDs all over the city, and it didn't take long for people to start paying attention. In 2010, he dropped a project called Welcome to Dolph World and picked up a lot of buzz in the city. But Dolph had bigger plans than just popping off in his hometown. That same year, he started his own label called Paper Route Empire. Every new project he dropped did bigger numbers than the last one, and it was clear that Dolph had plans to take over the game. In 2013, he released a collab project with Gucci Mane, which ended up catching the attention of Yo Gotti. Gotti's an icon in the Memphis rap scene. He's been in the game since '96, and in 2012, he started his own label, Collective Music Group, aka CMG. By 2014, he still didn't have any artists on the roster though, so he reached out to Dolph and offered him a deal. Back then, Dolph was buzzing, but hadn't really hit the mainstream yet. Linking up with Gotti definitely would have boosted his career, but that's not how Dolph wanted to play it. Even before he had a name in the industry, Dolph knew he wanted to create his own lane. He started a label before he even hit the charts, so it was clear that he had big plans. According to him, that's why he turned down Gotti's offer. Dolph told Sway,
only thing was going to happen behind it was people like, oh, he popped off because of Gotti.
By the time Gotti tried to sign him in 2014, Dolph had already put a ton of work and money into his own career. He didn't want all that to go to waste by riding someone else's wave. Sway told Dolph,
I know Gotti respect that because he did the same thing.
But unfortunately, that's not how it turned out. Dolph showed Gotti respect when he talked about the situation in interviews, but apparently there was already static behind the scenes. Nothing happened between them for a couple years though. Dolph stayed on the grind and went double platinum with OT Genesis, while Gotti decided to sign Black Youngsta and mentor him instead. Black Youngsta is another Memphis rapper who survived the trenches before hopping in the booth. He was raised by a single mom and had to learn how to get by at an early age. Youngsta got his first job at just 7 years old, stocking shelves at a grocery store, but he was fired for stealing food and got active in the streets. He was always in and out of jail on gun and drug charges, and that's where he first learned how to rap. In 2012, he dropped 2 projects and started building some momentum. And in 2014, he popped off with the track Heavy. The song put him on the map in the Memphis rap scene, and not before long, Yo Gotti hopped on the remix and signed Black Youngsta to CMG. Youngsta was later booked for allegedly dumping 100 rounds at Dolph, but it all started with social media disses. In February 2016, Dolph dropped his debut album and called it King of Memphis. Gotti had called himself the King of Memphis before, and he was allegedly tripping over the album title. Around the same time he released the album, Dolph made the beef official and tweeted, "Bro went from being my #1 fan and wanting to sign me to being my biggest hater. #facts." Gotti had beef in the rap game before, so fans expected him to clap back at Dolph. But instead, he just let his new artist do the dissing for him. While Gotti stayed quiet, Black Youngsta hopped into the beef and called Dolph a and on social media, he wrote, "When I see that Dolph, I'ma smack the shit out of him on my life." Black Youngsta even rolled up to Dolph's hood with a bunch of his homies, but nothing serious went down. Then a few weeks later, Dolph clapped back on IG and aired Gotti out for hating on Memphis rappers and sending Black Youngsta to fight for him. He also accused Gotti of putting the police on him.
Gotti, you was a I just got back to the city. They said you trying to put charges on me and put the police on me.
And around the same time, Dolph hopped on the remix of the track Ready by Trouble and said, "All of my they ready. Y'all some you scared. All on the internet telling, trying to have a real gelling. This shit around my neck so heavy. I'ma keep dripping sauce, spaghetti." Fans linked the Heavy line to Black Youngsta's track Heavy, and Dolph took more shots at him and Gotti with the lines, "Any that record when it's time for gangster shit, he the police. And I your boss man baby mama, same hotel for 4 weeks. Never send a little boy to take care of grown man business. If I was you, I'd be mad at me too, so I ain't tripping." Black Youngsta clapped back with the track Shake Some, where he called Dolph out by name and said, "Dolph Thornton wanna play, I'm on tour with the K, Mac 11, Smith & Wesson, extended clip, 100 rounds on a Draco. How the you the King of Memphis? You ain't from the city, you from Chicago. Boy, you better lay low. Killers move when I say so. I love Rob instead of killing, raping mamas and shit, little." Dolph didn't respond to the track, but a few months later, he dropped the song Play With Your and took the beef with Gotti to the next level. Play With Your is a wild diss track where Dolph claimed he hooked up with Gotti's baby mama and said, "Don't play with me, Gotti. You a man. You went from my biggest fan to my biggest hater, begging me to sign with you, but I had too much paper. Still that same that used to front your big brother. Found out he a too, now I call him your big sister. And they said them on your team iron your drawers. They say you make them call you boss, but they can't call you king because that's Dolph." But instead of coming back with his own song, Gotti just tweeted, "I've been partners with L.A. Reid and Jay-Z, and blah, blah, blah." The beef cooled off for a while after this. But then Dolph dropped a video for Play With Your and the situation got deadly. The video for the track shows Dolph stealing a girl from a Gotti lookalike, which was so disrespectful that it almost got him killed. A day after it dropped, someone let off over 100 shots in a Dolph's SUV when he was in North Carolina. The situation got crazy, but Dolph made it out alive because the whip was bulletproof. He still went on stage that night and performed Play With Your which proved that he wasn't backing down from anyone. Black youngster was charged with the shooting, but the case was dropped a couple years later due to lack of evidence. Dolph wasn't going to let the shooting slow him down, and in April 2017, he even used it to help his career. He dropped an album called Bulletproof, and the track titles were actually a message to whoever tried to take him out. When you put all the tracks in order, it says, 100 shots in Charlotte, but I'm bulletproof, so f*** them. That's how I feel, all of them. I'm so real, I pray for my enemies. I'm everything you want to be, shaking my head. The shooting in North Carolina wasn't the end though. Just a few months later, Dolph allegedly found out where Gotti was staying in LA. When he pulled up to press him, a fight broke out between their crews and Dolph ended up getting shot 3 times. Gotti's homie got booked for almost killing Dolph, but his charges ended up getting dropped because nobody would work with the cops. Back then, it seemed like the beef would keep going until somebody got killed. But after Dolph got shot, both sides just kind of moved on and focused on their own careers. Dolph was blowing up more than ever. Plus, he had just signed his cousin Key Glock and was busy with all of his charity work too. At the same time, Gotti's CMG label was picking up new artists and he was still working on his own music. But while the beef died down and nobody was sending shots, Dolph was tragically murdered before they could officially squash it. In November 2021, Dolph was caught by 2 shooters at Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies in Memphis. While he was shopping in the bakery, the gunman pulled up and shot him over 20 times. When the news broke, rumors immediately started flying that Gotti was behind it. But right now, there's no evidence that links him to the hit. The cops have charged 5 dudes who they believe were involved, but nobody knows why they wanted to kill Dolph. The way everything went down makes it clear that Dolph was the target, but we probably won't have any concrete answers till the trial starts. Dolph and Gotti linking up could have been huge for Memphis.
So, Andre, after hearing the story, now what's your take on the Young Dolph and Yo Gotti beef?
So now I know who Yo Gotti is. Did he make that song Walk Through? I love that song. That's my favorite song. A few other songs of his, I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. But
yeah,
this highlights how dysfunctional we are as a people. I'm following this shit like it's a movie made by Scorsese. I felt like I was watching like Pulp Fiction 2 in the hood. You know, I don't know what I was, Reservoir Dogs 2. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? You know? This is how dysfunctional. This shit sounds goofy. It sounds like a love story, honestly. I feel like I was reading like a gay romantic novel between 2 men. Like, you was my biggest fan. Now you my biggest hater. Man, come on, man. Now I'm gonna take your new boyfriend. Look, I'm in the car with your baby mama. Yeah. Like that's like a flex. Like it's his baby mama. Of course, you're probably gonna be in the car with her. She's probably been in the car with like 9 other people beside you today. So like what? It's just what the hell? When someone looks at this, right? When people look at this and they look at how we are as Black people, where we've come, right? The hardworking, honest Black men and women, the family, how we were. You don't even have to go back to the 50s or 60s. Screw that. Go back to 80s, 90s, early 2000s. And you look at how we are today. Walk through Rich Homie Quan. Okay, different artists. My bad. Maybe this is proving how not Black I am, I guess, because I didn't figure out which rapper sung which song. All right.
Oh yeah, we know you're not. We know it's okay.
Well, I'm Black.
We knew when you started saying Black people and referring.
So that
to
makes
Black
me not
people as
Black
monolith.
because
I mean,
that makes me not
you
Black
know.
because I call out the problems within my community because I'm.
Well, you
examining our
don't
culture.
say we. You usually say
I say
the
we.
Black,
I say
Black
we.
community. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the
I
Black
just
community.
picked up on a little.
addressing the
It's a little things that Okay, you got to understand. I understand that your brain's not fully formed yet. Your
Oh,
age.
okay,
It's
so
okay.
we're gonna go with that.
Scientifically.
We're gonna go with
No,
the
I'm
woman who's
not
like, I am
insulting you.
Irish, not white. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna tell me.
Yeah, white is a
I'm gonna tell
construct,
me.
and
Wait,
I
yeah,
am
race is a social
Irish.
construct as a whole. Yes, we've all constructed race
Yes,
as a social
my family
construct.
comes from Ireland.
But white people
Tumavara,
and Irish
Ireland,
people are those
actually.
anomalies. So you're European. You're a European. Simple as that.
Actually, no. I was
You're European.
colonized by Europe. Ireland was colonized by
Where's Europe?
and the potato famine
What is Europe?
was not a. Oh my God.
Heaven, what is Europe?
As I was saying,
No,
I
as
know
I
your
was
brain's
saying,
not fully
actually,
formed
you're gonna do
yet.
this like my brain's not fully
Well,
functioned because I'm calling out the.
well,
Let
no,
me tell you,
no,
hold on,
I'm
Heaven, hold on,
not. No, no,
let me
I'm
go to
trying
this,
to
Heaven.
point something
Hold on,
out.
hold on,
I'm
hold on.
just
No,
just
you're not
help.
pointing anything out.
Hey, look.
Let me
No,
step on you
no,
real quick
I'm
because
helping you
I
here.
love
I'm
when
helping you
I
here.
love when these
I'm
white
look.
people love to tell me about my community
What
and
I
tell me that I'm
noticed
less than
in
black
your
because
in what
I
you're
don't like the
saying.
aspects of my community. I don't like
What
the
I no,
aspects of my
I'm just
culture. What do you
pointing
know
out
about
what
black
I
culture
what I
beyond tattoos and
what
maybe a few
I
black men you've been with? Tell me about black culture.
actually
Tell me
I
about
grew
black
up in
people.
I grew up in the projects.
You grew up in the projects where?
I
What city?
grew up, yes.
What city?
Boston. Thank you.
Boston. Boston. You grew
Correct.
up in Boston
Correct.
Project? Okay, you grew
I
around
did.
poor whites. That's great. Fantastic. I grew up in
Correct.
Detroit.
So as
I grew up
okay,
around
as I was
black
saying,
people. I didn't grow up around poor
but
white
here's
people,
the
which
thing.
there are a
I
lot of
was
poor
just
white people in
pointing
Boston.
out
But no,
that
you're not
what
pointing
you're
out anything. What you're
the
doing is
way
very
you were
condescending.
no,
You want to
no,
flex your military
I
service. Look at me that
can't
I
even
serve. That's great. You want to sit back and shoot down
excuse
my
me.
service as a service member. And then you want to sit back and bring in
As I
question
was
my
saying,
age and my
linguistically,
fucking ability to do
I'm
things, my
helping
ability to put
you
out things.
out
Really,
here.
Heaven, is what you're going to do? Now I'm going to step
Linguistically,
on it because I let you get by the
I'm
first
just
time.
pointing
I'm not
things
going to let you get
out.
by the second time. If I let you get by the third time, then I'm a weak,
I'm
submissive
pointing
man
out
to do that. And I'm not going to allow
linguistically
that to happen.
some
Hello.
things that I've seen
Okay, tell me what you've seen.
and noticed.
Tell me what
I
you've
was
seen.
trying to, but you took it as an attack.
No, tell me what
and
you've seen.
started,
Go ahead.
like,
Go ahead, Big Sarn.
going at me.
Big Sarn, go ahead. All the
So
way.
like I was saying, I noticed that when you're talking about a lot of things, you say the black community, and
Give me an
you kind
example
of
of one of my
distance your.
videos. Give
You
me an example
just
of
said
one of
it.
my videos.
You just said it.
So if I'm
Let's
talking about the
rewind
black
this whole
community, I'm a
conversation.
black person.
It is
There is
okay,
a
but
community.
it's not a monolith.
Do we have to go back to
It's not
no
a
one's
whole
talking about a
monolith.
monolith? Or we have to go back to
When
like
you
fifth grade
say things
vocabulary in English.
as
Do we have to go back to that, Heaven? Have you not
you
passed
do,
that?
sir.
If I'm a black
I
person and I'm living in the black community and I'm addressing the
chill
problems
out,
of
little
black
boy.
people
Sir,
and the black community.
little boy.
Listen, sweetheart, I'm
Young
not little. I'm a
man.
married man. I'm a
Young
married
man.
man. I'm a
You're a
grown
young
man. You're
man.
gonna address me.
You're a
Okay, well then I would say
24-year-old
this. You're an
young.
old bat. Let's do that. How dry are you? Let's
That's
do this. We're gonna talk
fine.
about. We're
Say
gonna bring
I'm an
age
old
into it.
bat. You
Let's
can
see.
say
Let me
that.
tell you this.
That's fine.
I'm sure
I'm
my
not
wife's
gonna
eggs
get
are working a little
offended.
bit better than yours. Let's do that. I could do
That's
that. Let's count on that. We're gonna
fine.
play that
You
game. We're
can
gonna play the
you
age
can
game.
say that.
I'm sure that
But
someone's working
age
down
is
there.
a fact.
How many
Okay?
cobwebs do you count in the
Age
morning?
is a fact. Okay.
Age
You
is
are
a fact.
All right, guys.
personally
I
But you've
have
attacked
shown
one
me.
how
more
incompetent
clip.
you
I'm
are with
just
your
trying
age,
to
like
point
multiple
things
times now.
out.
Okay.
I'm just trying to point things out in the things that you're saying that come off that way. But you got emotional like an
I didn't get
immature
emotional.
boy.
We'll go to the next clip.
Oh gosh.
The boys are waiting. I can see you on it. You want me to teach it.
Oh my
Just so
gosh.
thieves get caught. Watch if you.
Okay, so the final topic. Far right or the right is saying that this is woke. This was the Gap's ad, which, by the way, they've seen 100% surge in their sales. So the ad worked for them. It was in response to the Sydney Sweeney ad. However, you guys may or may not know, this is Cat's Eye. All the young girls know them. My daughter is a preteen and she knows them. And pretty much they're a diverse group. They have all walks of life and all races in their group. So, Gray, is this woke?
No, that was a regular marketing commercial. There was nothing woke about that. That was a normal commercial. It's 1,000 commercials like that.
Were you offended by the Sydney Sweeney ad as a black person?
No. She has great jeans. I'll agree.
That's some great ass jeans.
Did that ad do anything for you, Gray? The Gap ad. Were you offended? Like, did you like it?
No, I mean, it wasn't like I'm not their demographic, but I wasn't offended. It just was a regular. If I saw the ad, I wouldn't have thought anything.
All right. Heaven, what's your thoughts on the ad? Does it make you want to go get you some Gap jeans now?
It looks like a music video, to be honest. It didn't showcase jeans. I mean, granted, the language used in the Sydney Sweeney ad was offensive to many, many people. But at least it showcased the jean, the denim itself.
I'm about to share
I
it. It
don't.
shows the denim. It shows the jeans. I'm not gonna have the
I mean,
music.
I don't think it showed it as much.
They got the jeans. They got the jeans in the ad right there.
I mean, but I don't see them up close. I see.
Oh, I see what you're
people down-
saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Sydney
Yeah.
Sweeney ad, it went up her whole body. It showed
body.
her in the jeans and in different denim and exactly. It's a music video. I can't see what they're wearing to be like, oh, I want to wear that. That's cute. It doesn't do it for me because I can't see what is the product. That's terrible product placement in your ad. Yeah, that's my my thoughts on that.
Andre, what's your thoughts? Did you like the ad? You want your wife to go get her some Gap jeans now?
I really don't care. It was an ad. Like people like it's woke. I haven't seen anybody say like this is. I don't know.
Oh yes,
like,
they
who?
have.
Give me an example.
I'm gonna give you the names. Hold on.
I bet it's because the song. I bet it's because of the song.
Like, who thinks that's honestly?
If you
this is
put
just
like, a
American
country
marketing.
song behind it and do it again, they won't say that. I promise.
I need to see what lame
I'm gonna show you.
establishment Republican is saying like this is woke. Like, is it
They
Charlie
are.
Kirk or
They're
somebody?
like, we're so back, but they're so jealous. Hold on, I gotta find it. Now you put me on the spot because I did see it and I was like, what the hell is wrong with these people?
So I want to see so I can clown those people because if you think
yeah,
that's
no,
like,
I want you to clown them because
it's
I
like,
just thought
what are you
it was a stupid thing. Like I think it's a cute little ad. I don't see why they were so up in arms about it.
It's Target ads like the same. I've seen Target ads with the same
But
shit.
I
Like, no
can't see
different.
the denim. Like for me, I can't
Yeah,
see the denim, so it wouldn't make me want to buy the jeans. But it's I mean, it
I
looked
don't
like
even
a music
see.
video.
Yeah, I
It
don't even
was
see what's the
fun.
point even having the ad when they're not even showcasing the clothes.
Oh,
They're
here
just
it is. This person
dancing.
called
The
American
dancing was
AF.
good.
I'm gonna
American
share this.
AF. Who is that?
Yeah, he's pretty big. He said Gap released an ad in retaliation to Sydney Sweetie's American Eagle ad because it looks like every single woke garbage ad we've been seeing for the past 4 years.
Bro, we've been seeing those ads since like the 2000s. Like, where have you been? Like, what are you talking about? Like, these ads are
Right? Isn't
all
that
over
isn't
America.
that like
Like,
an old song?
yeah, it's an
Now-
old song, and this is the
Right,
Gap. Like, this is the Gap. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
Now this chick, she has a big
what happened to
following.
fall into the gap?
Hold on. She got 31,000 views. She said, in trying to prove how racist the cheeky but innocent American Eagle ad was, Gap managed to create an overtly racist ad. What a great summary of hashtag woke and its obsession with race hierarchy. Yikes.
race is how? Like, what's racist about it? I think the American Eagle, and who cares if it was racist? So what? Great jeans. I want a black ad with the same thing. Great. I think Americans
Right.
in
If they
general
do
have great
both,
genes.
then it wouldn't be considered racist. But they only did it with one, which is if they do it
Yeah,
with
the
both, then
people
that's
saying that like
different.
it's racist, like the American
If
Sydney Sweeney.
American Eagle then turned around and did it with Beyonce too, they would not have said a word.
Is the Cracker Barrel logo racist?
Yes, people are melting down about that. Let me say this. I don't think they
Why?
should have changed it though. That's history. They should have left it the same. I don't like the way the store looks. It's too modern.
It looks basic.
Yeah, who goes in the
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel now?
Correct.
I love Cracker Barrel.
I think
I don't love it
I mean,
anymore.
that's probably the problem that people don't really go in there anymore. So they're trying to make it more modern.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
what they
people will
said. They're
go in
trying to
there.
make it appeal to younger people. That's what they said.
Well, don't change the
Olive
logo.
Garden did the
add-
same thing. And
Add like a
everyone-
different menu, or like, get an ad where you shake some ass. You got some jeans and you shake some ass. It says Cracker Barrel. Then you get some people in there. I'll go in there if they were shaking it. Listen, the Cracker Barrel was like Hooters. I might be in there every week. I don't
Yo,
know.
Hooters shut down. Did you know that? They filed bankruptcy.
You're
Hooters
a
is
married man, Andre.
Hey, listen, we can look. We just can't touch.
Get
We
it
just need that. There we
together.
go. You can sit down at the table. You just can't go to bed with her. That's all it is.
Jeez.
God.
I'm a Kevin Samuels follower.
Aren't you a Christian?
Am I Christian? Yeah, most certainly.
Isn't that not a sin to lust after someone? I'm
A lot of
just
things we
asking.
partake in is a sin, in life.
I'm just
What is a
asking.
sin?
Well, this was definitely a great show. This was good energy on this show.
As always, we bring
So
the
I-
energy on the new party.
So Andre, we'll try to get Andre in heaven and come and start doing the lunch with me and Nora. Andre, I'll start with you. What's your closing thoughts?
Well, it's been a great show. I've enjoyed the conversation with everyone, especially we've had a great back and forth. It's been very enjoyable. Not really too much I can really say beyond that. I love the new party. Great shows,
Thank
great
you.
live streams. Been very kind to me, and yeah, follow them and stay tuned for more content.
For sure. Heaven, you ready? I know
I'm
you always
ready.
hate. You always
I
hate.
mean, well, yeah, because I have so much, and I have to pick one final topic. One final topic or
Final thoughts.
comment, final thoughts. Thank you, Andre, for coming. As always, a great conversation. Spirited conversation. Hopefully you'll take some of my advice. I just non-judgmental. Everybody have a great day and come spending lunch with us.
For sure. I'll do mine, then Nora, you can go. My final thoughts is basically great show. Thank you, Andre, for coming. Thank you, Heaven. We're going to try to do more lunchtime shows like this. We're going to do this at 12 p.m. And of course, we do the show at 8 p.m. Tonight, we'll be talking about Kilmar Abrega Garcia being sent back to Uganda. I don't know if I butcher his name or not, but come back for that. And like we always say on New Party, always vote. Nora?
Okay, guys. So my closing thoughts are this. We have more in common than we have different. That was highlighted today. Thank you to Andre Williams for coming back. As I stated before, we may not agree with everything Andre says, but he's like a dose of medicine that sometimes we need to hear in the Black community. Sometimes harsh things are hard to hear, but it's like your parents spanking you. You have to be spanked sometimes. But nevertheless, a shout out to Heaven on the Man Cave. Thank you so much, Heaven, for coming today. We are going to be doing this daily at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're starting this back up Monday through Thursday. Tuesday night, I don't know what our topic is going to be yet, but we have a big guest coming. We have the gentleman that's running against Tampon Tim Walsh. He will be putting his hat in the ring in 2026. So we will get to know who the potential future governor of Minnesota will be if he prevails and beats him. And then Thursday night, we will be doing an anniversary episode to Hurricane Katrina. This year makes 20 actual years. I know Gray and myself was impacted, unfortunately, by Katrina. So we'll talk about all our experiences and some hurricane safety tips as well. Like we always say on the New Party, always vote. God bless everyone. Have a good day.